Hey YouTube, how we doing today? Today's video is going to be the first in a series of videos about fishing in the Florida Keys, but more geared towards the novice fisherman. Now, if you're a moderate or advanced level fisherman, you're probably better off checking out my videos on my Key West kayak fishing page on YouTube. I do have some introductory style videos for fishing the Keys on there. However, these videos are going to be geared towards more of the novice fisherman, or possibly even the person that's never fished before, but since you're in the Keys, want to give it a try. It'll also be beneficial for that person that likes fishing, but is coming to the Keys to do other type of activities, but might want to spend a day or two giving fishing a shot and wanting to know what are the different options that are available. Now for this first video, we're going to be focusing on the basics of just rods and reels. Now in general, usually I would recommend getting some decent gear for fishing around the Keys, but if you're just coming down and wanting to just give it a shot, maybe spend an evening or day or two, there's no reason to spend hundreds of dollars for a really nice rig that you may never use again, especially if you're really not into fishing. There's a lot of options that you can do that are going to be considered very low budget. For instance, I'm pretty sure on the Key West tackle shop down by the Mallory Square, they rent fishing rods for fishing along the piers there. However, it's just as easy to go to a few different shops that'll offer a combo, which is a rod, reel, and the reel having filled with mono line that you can get for $40 or $50 that will do the job perfectly. Now, of course, you have to remember though is that your trade-off is most likely it's going to be kind of a hassle to pack it up and take it home with you, especially if you're taking airplane. So I'm almost considering these as being just disposable. You're going to buy it, you're going to use it, and then you just give it away or leave it, because it's just going to be a $40 or $50 experience, and it's going to be much cheaper than a night out, going to a bar, taking any type of tour, etc. Because Key West is very expensive, and getting a chance to spend an evening doing something is going to cost more than $40 or $50. Now there are a few tackle shops around, and they all have these basic introductory all the way up to the high-end fishing rods and reels. So they're a great place to check out. The Key West tackle shop, which is downtown, the West Marine, which is also close to downtown, and there's a second one in Stock Island. Esky Rods also sells used fishing poles that I saw that were fairly cheap, and my personal favorite is Kmart. All right, just for general parameters, I'm going to list kind of a model sizes, which will be a kind of a guide. Now there's quite a few different name brands out there that everybody knows, like Shimano and Penn and so forth. But then you have all the cheap Chinese knockoff and all different ones. And to be honest, what we're looking at is that budget model. So the price point is the most important part. However, we do want to get a rod that is functional for the type of fishing that we're going to do. Now, although you're going to have aspirations of catching tarpon and marlin and all these big, massive fish, realistically, we're going to be just targeting little shore fish, fun fish, just something to bend the rod, take some pictures, and possibly keep to eat if you're into that. So the rods that I'm going to list are just general size requirements that will fit correctly. And if you happen to have those and can bring them, great. If not, when you're shopping, try to fall within these parameters, and that'll keep you in the ballpark. So my recommendation is to get a rod that is around between 6 foot and 7 foot. Okay, that's the length. And the action, okay, which is kind of what you would be called like the weight of it, would be in the medium light to medium. Okay, so they have light, ultralight, light, medium, medium heavy, heavy, extra heavy, extra heavy, and so on. Okay, but like I said, we want that just fun fishing balance setup. So 6 foot to 7 foot, medium light to medium. Okay, that's for the rod. Now, one of the things that you can also look for is that they come in either a one-piece rod where it's just all together and that's the way you get it. Or you can get them that there are two pieces, meaning that they're splined together so that you can pull them apart and tuck them so it's half the size. And ready to fish, you just plug it back in and it's back to the full length. Sometimes that could be a lot easier if you're going to be taking a taxi, riding a bike, okay? Or even if you're packing it and taking it on an airplane or in your car. So it'll be half the size and it'll be a lot more portable to carry. For the reel, okay, they come in different model sizes and it can be a little bit complicated. But what we're looking for is a reel that fits in the model size of roughly 2500 to 4000 series or model, okay? You could even go down to 1500 would be fine to 4000, but somewhere in that 2500 range, I would say would be optimum of what we're looking for. And pretty much when you buy the combo where it's going to come with that 6 to 7 foot medium light to medium, it's going to come with a 25 to 4000 series reel because that's just what mates with it really well. You won't find a 6000, 8000 on that same size. If you see that, then it's out of the realm and not what you're looking for. For line, that if we do get a combo that where it all comes complete packaged like this, including the line, if there is a chance that you have the ability to choose what pound line, I would recommend somewhere in the 10 to 15 pound mono line as being the weight that we're looking for. Too heavy, it becomes too thick and it's hard to cast and it comes off all spirally. You can go, if I had to lean less, I would lean to the 6 to 8 pound if that was the only thing that's available. But when you buy these kits, usually they're fairly well balanced, so you'll probably get that line anyways. But by chance, if you get a kit where they say, oh, what size line do you want? I would say 10 pound. Now I've got quite of a selection of different budget rod and reels up to the ones that I use on a daily basis. So you can kind of get a gist of what I'm talking about and the price ranges that we're looking at. And these would all be available here at those local retail stores that I listed earlier. At the lower end of the scale, this is a Ready Fish 105. It was a combo. This combo I actually found right at the boat dock where somebody left it and most likely was doing exactly what I suggested. They came down, they bought a cheap rod and reel setup, went fishing for the day and didn't want it after that because they weren't going to be fishing anymore. So they just left it at the dock for somebody else that might want to use it. So I took it, cleaned it up, and I use it to catch bait for fun fishing. But this is a kit that you'd probably find for around $30, $35 at any of these places. It would be, this is a 6 foot medium light rod. It's a 2500 series reel. And this probably has a little bit of a thicker line, so I'd probably say this has some 15 pound mono on it. But perfect, perfect, perfect for what you're looking for. You can get a $35 rod and reel and line setup and ready to fish, and you won't feel so bad just leaving it or giving it to some kid or a taxi driver or whoever. Next is this Ugly Stick combo. This is an Ugly Stick GX2. Now I have some videos on my YouTube channel where I've caught up to 7 foot sharks with this thing, taking it offshore. I've caught tuna, I've caught king mackerels, cereal mackerels, big mangrove snappers, groupers. I've really put this rod and reel to a test because I wanted to break it because they're thought of as being unbreakable and I haven't been able to break it yet, okay? And this was a combo that I got from Kmart on sale for $36. Regularly, I think it sells for $50, but I had a coupon. It was on sale and I had a coupon. So out the door with tax was $36. It's a 6.5 foot medium action, and it came with a 3000 Shakespeare reel. Shakespeare and Ugly Stick are one company. And I went ahead and put my own, I think this is 20 pound big game mono line on it. And the only reason I went with 20 pound because I knew I was going to be catching those bigger fish to try to break the rod. I caught a 7 foot shark on that 20 pound off of using my kayak. But Castability is not so great, so I much would rather have 10 pound if I was actually using it for more fun fishing. So that's about a $50 range. Next one is a kind of a match setup that I did. This is a Shimano Stimula. This is another 6.5 foot. Actually, this is 7 foot, and this is a medium action. I actually found this rod and reel combo in the mangroves by one of the fishing spots. The reel was junk, so I ended up tossing that. But I had the Shimano Sahara 2500 series reel, and this reel runs about $50, so that makes this combo about a $70–$75 setup. And this would be a pretty good solid, even for a good average fisherman, because it's got a decent reel, which probably is the most important part, and just a good balanced rod that fits that length and dimensions. These next two are actually my everyday rods and reels that I catch everything with, that I fish. They always come with me because I'll always use them for something. This is a Calico Jack made by Hurricane. It's a 7.5 foot. It's a good graphite blank, even though it was a more of an economy style rod. I think I paid around $40–$45 for it. I think they regularly go for like $60 or $70. So it's a well-rounded, well-respected rod setup blank. So it's definitely not just a cheapie, but still a budget class. And I paired that with a Penn Conflict 4000. Again, this would be more of a serious fisherman, not pro series, but a real solid reel for saltwater. This runs about $120. And I've got this one. I actually have multiple spools, so I could change the weights of the lines that I run. But I've got braided line in 10 pound, 15, and 20 in braid on these. But like I said, these are my advanced rigs that I use for quite a bit of different things. So they're a little bit more than what I would expect you to get. But if you're into fishing, or you know you're going to be into fishing, and getting this rod and reel set up home is not an issue, these are combos that you might look at, because they're going to be really good for quite a bit of fishing and for a long time. And my ultimate go-to one is the Shimano Terramar. This is a 7 foot medium heavy, and I've also got that paired off with that same Penn Conflict 4000. This is the one that I've got some 20 pound braid on. This one I take offshore with me and throw little swim baits at, like bonitas and tunas, as well as all the inshore game. And like I say, I have spare spools that I could quickly change out and put a 10 pound braid on it for longer casting for bonefish, permit, snappers, and stuff like that. And that one is a little bit more expensive. So the rod is about 110. Like I said, the reel is about 120. So you're about 230, 240 for 250 for this setup. So you're talking a little bit more money. Definitely not a disposable. If you do come and you buy a setup like this and you're just going to give it away, give me a call and I'll pick it up from you. But those are kind of the things that we're looking at. Those first couple especially, $30, $40, $50. All ready to go, put a hook on the line, and we're fishing, okay? And that's totally fine. We'll catch everything. Like I said, I've caught up to a 7 foot lemon shark on them, so no worries about that, all right? So that's just a gist about rods and reels, all right? And that just gets the first basic piece of our equipment that we need. Future videos, I'm going to go over what hooks and weights and jigs and stuff that I would recommend, baits that I would recommend getting, will most likely be the next video there. And then we might go into tying knots, basic knots that you would need, as well as going into good locations around the Keys, where to look to find fish, what types of fish to go for, and that kind of thing. So we'll progressively move along in this series of videos. So anyways, that's part one. Hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully that encourages you to do some fishing in the Florida Keys. But anyways, thanks for watching, and I will see you next video.